I recorded myself before I hopped on Streamlabs. Hopefully this works now. Oh man. I hope to God that the whole stream was not like that. I swear to God, I will RIP right here, right now. Because I just went on for an hour about the plot of the Northman, which I do not intend to do over again. Not today. And we were just getting into Hamlet, which I can do over again, and we were talking about Amleth, the original legend by Saxo Grammaticus. So, thank you to the very kind person in my Twitch chat for letting me know that I was talking to myself. Hi, Squat Ward, it's going. Can you hear me? Please say yes. I really hope you can. Anyway, hopefully you can hear me. So, okay, thank you, Squat Ward. Awesome. OBS pulls through yet again. Yeah, I know. I have been entirely muted for an entire 2-hour stream before, and oh my god, I cried. Like, literally. I was talking about this movie very passionately for 2 hours, and then I went to play it back in my video, the content thing, and it's just like, are you serious? Like, oh man. But yeah, thanks very much. I'm assuming you're Irish if you're saying fecht. Very much appreciated. Okay, so we're gonna start over with section 2 of our analysis of the Northman, which means that I get to go through the plot of Hamlet at the speed of light again. Oh, okay. If you're not Irish, that's fine too. I am originally English, so probably for the best. Anyway, so, Hamlet. Like I said before, that you could not hear me. Hamlet, I'm going to do at the very speed of light, because if you haven't had the pleasure of reading or learning about Hamlet, I'm not really sure why you wouldn't. And the American education system is fucked, so I'm just going to speed through it real quick. Hamlet, Prince of Denmark, he has just lost his father, King Hamlet, and he has come back from school in Germany to kind of tie up loose ends / be with family for the mourning period, etc., etc. His mother has recently remarried to King Hamlet's brother Claudius, who is not named in the play at all. He's only named in the stage adaptations. Yes, you could say that. I am a film graduate student. I'm pursuing my PhD in film scholarship in academia. So, anyway. So, King Hamlet has died, and Hamlet is very upset about this, especially since you need my help. What do you need my help for? I'll pause in Hamlet for a second. So, yeah, I'm always happy to help. You're in filming school? Oh, yeah, when I was an undergrad, I had to do that. It is a bitch. Do you need someone to read it over, or do you just need some help, like, brainstorming, or? While I'm here, I'll fix my eyeliner, because it is fucked. Energy drinks. Oh boy. You have some footage idea. Are you allowed to use, like, existing energy drinks, or do you have to come up with something all on your lonesome? Because you can use, like, I don't know if you're allowed to use stock footage either. You probably have to shoot it yourself. But I would use, like, a can that you dip in water and just kind of slow-mo, like, the condensation dripping down. Okay, so you're using Rockstar? Yeah, do that. There's a lot of creative ways that you can kind of do, like, close-ups of, like, it pouring into a glass. You can do it, like, someone drinking and swallowing it in very, like, extreme close-up. Add in audio and post. Yeah, just play around with, if you have access to Adobe After Effects, my school did, just play around with that stuff. When is it due? Think of water following the drink. The script is due tomorrow. Oh, so you don't have to shoot it before tomorrow. Okay, thank God. Yeah, black background and ice when drink with water dripping. That's a good start. Awesome. See, you're almost halfway there. Like, if it's you said it was a 30-second one? I'll just scroll up because you probably already answered my question. Yes. Okay, so 30 seconds, it's about, like, what, a page of an actual, like, shooting script? I have never had to write one out per se. I've always storyboarded, and my professors were cool with that. But yeah, if it's not being filmed yet, I assume that your professor wants to give you feedback before you actually shoot the project. What footage to use. Like I said, focus on the drink. Focus on someone drinking it too. Like, make sure that you show them enjoying the product, because usually that is, like, used in beverage commercials. And, just stuff like that. And if you have a mate who can help you out, like, see if you can do a close-up on their throat. You also might want to, like, do some B-roll stuff of people jogging or something like that, or doing something that, energy drinks are good at doing. I personally just pound coffee, so I don't really know. Do you think having someone working out? Yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah. Like, working out or, like, typing, like, they're doing so much better with their work because they have the mental energy now. Yeah, just stuff like that. You're very welcome. Yeah, I'm not very good at the technical side of film. I'm very much the film, like, I'm into film theory and film history. I am the conceptual type of person. When I was an undergrad, I had so many technical requirements for my major, which was in media studies. And let me tell you, I failed intro to video twice. So, yeah, hopefully this advice helps. But I'm glad I could help. Like, that's the whole point of why I'm pursuing my PhD. I want to help people. Okay, so back to our English literature lesson. All right, so speedrun of Hamlet. Okay, we have established that King Hamlet is dead. Gertrude, his mother, Hamlet's mother, not King Hamlet's mother, has married Claudius, his brother / her brother-in-law, very soon after King Hamlet is dead. And we are, like, right around probably the end of the mourning period, which was like a month, I think. And Hamlet's moping around because he is an emo fuck. And he is visited by the ghost of his father in the Kenneth Branagh version, which I cannot recommend enough. He is played by Brian Blessed in the quietest role that you will have ever seen Brian Blessed in. Like, he whispers. It's crazy. But he basically says, Claudius poisoned me to death. Like, in that adaptation, he pours it in his ear, and Brian Blessed's like, ha! It's hilarious. And you need to avenge me. Also, Gertrude, like, what the fuck? Ask your mom what the hell she's thinking. And yeah, so go to it, son. And Hamlet's like, okay, what I can do is I can hatch a very elaborate scheme. First, I'm going to pretend I'm insane. This is somehow integral to this plot. And so his entire plot is that he's going to hire a bunch of, it's a theater troupe, they travel around. The lead guy is played by Charlton Heston for some reason. And I'm going to have them do a play. It's an adaptation of whatever this original play within a play is, but it's going to be exactly the way that Claudius killed my father. I'm going to call him out in front of everybody, ? Prophet. So he starts pretending to be nuts, but unfortunately for him, he actually becomes nuts. He accidentally kills Polonius because he's so paranoid, and Polonius is hiding behind a curtain because fuck knows. And So he runs him through, and his love interest, Ophelia, who is the daughter of Polonius, actually does go mad after this. She hey nanny nannies herself into a river and drowns. Played by Kate Winslet. And I'm just going to assume, like, everything is the Branagh version at this point. So, played by Kate Winslet. And, so Hamlet's kind of feeling torn up about this, but he also hates women. Like, part of his, like, driving Ophelia insane was basically saying, like, you are inherently a total whore. Like, you are a nasty slut. Disgusting. Get thee to a nunnery. And she's like, what the fuck? Like, I'm a virgin. Or maybe, like, it's kind of, depending on your interpretation, it's kind of implied that they had fucked. And so he had taken her virginity and he's like, you whore, sleeping with me. But yeah, he's not very nice. And he's a terrible, shitty son to his mother, basically calling her an incestuous whore because she jumped into bed with her husband's brother. And the, like, incest as a concept was kind of different back then. It was considered incest for you to marry the widow/widower of a family member. So yeah, he slut shames Gertrude for that, but she did move on kind of quickly. So shade. And anyway, yada yadaing over a lot of stuff that happens. The play is the thing, as this line goes. He hires the players to do his play. They do the play. For some reason, as they're acting, he narrates it, even though, like, they're trying to play the scene so he can see what the fuck is going on. And, yeah, Claudius is like, oh shit. And, Laertes, who is Polonius's son, is very upset. Oh, thank you for the follow, Squatwort. Oh, I'm glad I could help. So, Polonius has come back from his school in Germany. He and Hamlet were very good friends until, Hamlet killed his dad. So he has vowed revenge. And there's a sword fight, and they kill each other because Laertes' blade was poisoned, but they make up at the point of their deaths. All the while, the King of Norway, Fortinbras, is on his way to take over the Kingdom of Denmark, since, there's kind of a bit of kerfluffle with the king dying and his brother being in charge, and that's not a very popular decision. And he kind of arrives at the end of this, and he's like, what the actual fuck happened here? Oh, Gertrude also dies because she drinks poisoned wine that was intended for Hamlet, or for Claudius, because Hamlet was like, yo, I'm gonna kill you the same way you killed my father. Oh no, mom, why? So yeah, there's just a bunch of dead Danes lying around. And Fortinbras is like, well, this is going to be a lot easier of a takeover than I thought. Cool. And yeah, that's Hamlet in like 30 seconds. Yeah, if you have 4 hours and 2 minutes to spare, and you are even marginally interested in plays, Shakespeare / really, really good productions of Shakespearean plays / Kenneth Branagh, check it out. It is so worth it. Like, so worth it. I had to do Hamlet twice in high school because I changed high schools for my senior year. So I did it 2 years in a row, and I bought the special edition DVD of Adamantium versus Vibranium. Thank you so much for the follow. Very much appreciated. I bought the special edition DVD, which was 2 DVDs at the time because I'm dating myself. But yeah, it's just a fantastic version of it. He updates the setting from like the Viking era / like early medieval period to the 1800s, and visually it is a stunning movie. And anybody who's anybody is in it. Like, Robin Williams is in it, Billy Crystal's in it, Kate Winslet, Julie Christie, Derek Jacobi, Judi Dench is in it for a 30-second cameo. Like, it's so good. Anyway, so now that we've done that, we're going to compare with Amleth, the original myth / story as put down by Saxo Grammaticus in his Gesta Danorum. Quick, like, overview of Saxo Grammaticus. this is the kind of stuff that I absolutely love doing, so I am so happy I'm doing this stream right now. So Saxo Grammaticus was a Danish historian slash theologian slash author. Not a lot is known about him because he was pretty early on, but he was around in the 12th to 13th century, and he's basically the person that is like why we know as much as we do about Norse history and like religion. But the problem was that Christianity had basically taken over the earth at that point, and a lot of the old myths like are very Jesus-y in certain ways, like Odin and oh god, what's her name? She's a fertility goddess. She's a goddess of the harvest. I can't remember her name right now. But their son, Balder, is very, he's given very much like a sort of Jesus role, and that is just not how the Norse people worked. But anyway, Saxo, also known as Saxo Cognomine Longinus, may or may not have been a clerk or secretary to Absalon, Archbishop of Lund, who was the main advisor to Valdemar I of Denmark. But yes, the Geste Danorum is the earliest work that we have that survived, putting down all of this stuff. And Amleth is one of the main legends, stories, whatever you want to call it. So, Amleth was... Let me just skip to this. I'm totally not using Wikipedia. I'm doing this from memory. So the father, Horvindil, oh yeah, his name was like Arvindil? Yeah, in the movie it was Arvindil, it wasn't King Hawk. So, he married Gerutha, daughter of Rurik Slingebond, king of Denmark, and she had a son, Amleth. His brother Feng, aka Fjolnir, murdered his brother out of jealousy and persuaded Gerutha, I think her name was Gudrun in the movie, he persuaded her to become his wife because he said that he killed his brother because he loved her so much. And Amleth was afraid that he was also going to get whacked, so he started pretending he was crazy, which, as we have just gone through in The Northman, is completely dropped as a plot line, which is fine, I guess. Like, Alexander Skarsgård is a decent enough actor, but I don't think that he could play crazy as well. Let me just put down the brightness, because I got mad reflection in my glasses, yo. Okay. So, yeah. So, Fjolnir is kind of suspicious of all of this. Fang, sorry. And so he puts him to various tests. Among other things, they sought to entangle him with a young girl, his foster sister, who was Ophelia in Hamlet. But Amleth was too smart. He killed an eavesdropper, aka Polonius, in his mother's room. And Fang / Fjolnir was pretty much like, okay, yeah, this dude is not actually crazy. He's pretending. And he sent Amleth to Britain in company of 2 attendants who bore a letter enjoining the country's king to put him to death. That would be Rosencrantz and Guildenstern, who are dead. Very good play, by the way. Like, fan fiction of Hamlet. Love it. But Amleth was, like, too clever, so he altered the letter and was like, hey, you need to put these 2 to death. I am not going. So, yeah, R.I.P. them. He also in this letter said that you need to put these 2 to death, and you also need to marry the princess to Amleth. And for some reason that worked. Yeah, that's not in Hamlet or in this, The Northman. Fucking the Norse legends are a trip. Like, imagine you're the king and you just get this guy, like, come to your door and he's just like, yo, the king of Denmark, or this, like, petty kingdom in Denmark, says that you need to kill these 2 guys and you need to give me your daughter in marriage. And, like, what would your reaction even be to that? Like, okie dokie, well, I, a king in Britain, totally will do exactly what this letter says. I've never met you in my life, but you seem legit. So Amleth has married the princess, and he returns to Denmark at the end of a year. He has become rich, because that was important to Vikings, riches and fame. and he only took with him certain hollow sticks filled with gold. He arrived in time for a funeral feast of his own death. He got the courtiers very drunk, and he executed his vengeance during their drunken sleep by fastening down over them the woolen hangings of the hall with pegs he had sharpened during his feigned madness, and then set fire to the place. Like, that is metal as fuck, goddamn. Also, this is definitely not the first time I'm reading this. Was it not important for any group? I'm not entirely sure what you're asking. Could you elaborate, please? Anyway, he, gold, wealth, etc. Back then, like, the hoarding of wealth, like, certain cultures, in Scandinavia, like, they valued sort of the accumulation more than they valued the wealth itself, because it kind of showed, like, what kind of Viking you were if you were a Viking, or how rich your lord was, how good your lord was. It wasn't really about, like, being able to, like, flash cash around. It was just more of, like, a dragon hoard. But fame was probably the most valuable commodity that that Vikings specifically had. Because if you were famous, you would live forever in song. And, you know, the sagas would be written about you, and that's why Ragnar Lothbrok was one of the, like, the most revered of the legendary Vikings, is because he became that famous. And that's why he had a whole series on the History Channel about him. God, what a pity what happened to that. They should have just stopped after he died. That's when, like, they went off the rails with the original saga of Ragnar Lothbrok, and that's a whole, like, rant I could get into at some other time. Like, I really, really love Norse mythology and legends and history, and it's just like, certain adaptations, especially by the History Channel, it's like, what the hell? Why would you do this? I can't believe you've done this. Anyway, so he kills Fang with his own sword. He's proclaimed king because that's how it works. And he goes back to Britain to get his wife. What, did you not like Ivar the Boneless? That was not Ivar the Boneless. That was a bastardization of Ivar the Boneless. Like, Ivar killed all of his brothers when they all lived in the actual original text. And they did, like, a bunch of shit. Like, they were important in their own right. And Ivar was just kind of, like, he was one of them. He was a true son of Ragnar Lothbrok, and that was about it. Like, he was famous, and he did do, like, I don't want to say more, but he did more significant stuff than his brothers did, but they were still pretty significant. And History Channel's like, no, he just fucks them all up because he's a sociopath. And, his mom was a witch. And, yeah, he's just really metal as fuck, and he has a wife that he can totally have sex with. It's like, what the fuck? I just dropped out after he started going on his own adventures and, you know, trying to... I dropped out about this. It was the end of the season that Jonathan Rhys-Meyers was introduced, because I was just like, okay, I'm done. Like, I don't want to say that I'm a purist, but at least, like, try to stick to the original source material instead of just fucking off into the ether and making up shit as you go along. Like I've mentioned before, that's kind of, we saw what happened with Game of Thrones when they did that. And it's the History Channel. That is true. That is very true. The History and Lies channel. Oh, man. So, side note, on a personal note, my mother is a Russian historian. She's a damn good Russian historian. Like, she, at one time, was considered one of the premier Soviet historians. And she was asked by the History Channel when it was first starting out if she wanted to do a special on Catherine the Great, which she did. And my father, who is an American labor historian and one of the best in his field, no pressure on me whatsoever, of course, he was asked if he would like to be, like, part of the main stable for the History Channel, so, like, you know, hosting and stuff like that, and he turned them down, and now they do Storage Wars, and fucking Ice Truckers, and whatever the hell else is on there. But yeah, History and Lies channel is what my father says. Or the Hitler channel. Like, for a while it was all Hitler all the time, and as a Jew that is very strange. But anyway, Amleth. I'm getting off the rails and I love it because I don't usually get to have conversations with people in my chat, so this is a very, very happy occasion for me. So, the English king He found out once he went back to Britain to claim his wife. I mean, it's a fascinating subject, World War II. Okay, I as big a film person as I am, I'm also very much into history because like it would be impossible for me not to be with my parents. Growing up with two historians, it kind of you kind of have like certain interests that are just ingrained in you. But for me, like I prefer things farther back. While I want to be a film historian and deal with the 20th century, I really don't have much interest in like World War II era outside of pop culture. I used to want to be a medievalist, actually. I'm very much a fan of like Norse history. I'm a fan of the history of colonization, of the Vikings and of the Greeks, the Romans. I go back to the classics, and then my other area of interest is the Wars of the Roses. I go back centuries, and whenever I've had to do American history, especially American history of the 20th century, I get bored. I do not find it fascinating, and like I said, I'm Jewish, and I don't really enjoy dwelling on what happened in World War II. I don't find it fascinating, I find it tragic. But hey, if that's what you're into, like, I have no shade. Like, everyone needs to have a passion, and if that's what you're passionate about, like, that is good. That is very good. So Amleth finds out that the king, his father-in-law, and Fjolnir Fang had been pledged to avenge his other's death. What do you think of the Romans? I think that, they're not around anymore. That's a very complicated question. Just keeping me off topic. That's totally fine. You know what? Fuck Amleth for right now. We're going to talk. So, the Romans, the Republic was a good idea. And then, you know, when you have absolute power kind of consolidated into one person, that's when things go off the rails. And Julius Caesar really fucked over the Romans. I think that they were too ambitious. They stretched themselves too thin. They really fucked up with Britain, that's for sure. And, you know, I think that a lot of their accomplishments, especially for the period that they were in, were fantastic and unprecedented and unlike anything else. But in the end, they kind of played themselves. Also, there were, you know, the war atrocities, the subjugation of the Gauls and the Bretons and all of them. Messed up with Britain. Oh yeah, so they expanded to the British Isles, and it was inhabited by a lot of Celtic tribes and the Picts, and they were not very good at keeping them at bay. Or if you have time, you should look up the legend of Boudica. It is a historical event that happened, but it was so long ago that people don't know exactly like how it happened. But essentially, she took theme of the stream today, revenge. Yeah, exactly. So you know that she was very much like the archetypical Celtic woman, warrior woman, and they were also cut off from Rome because of the sea. It was extremely costly and time-consuming for them to get there. There was very little oversight by central Rome in Britain, and they basically had to abandon it because the Picts and the Proto-Scots were not very happy about the prospect of being invaded. So they fucked up, like they fucked up the Romans. The Cornishmen, the Celts of Wales and Ireland. Like, I'm originally from a city that our founding date is time immemorial. We were Isca. I'm from Exeter, and we stumble over Roman ruins a lot. So like I've grown up around that stuff. But yeah, it was not a good time for them to take over Britain. Did they ever invade Ireland? Oh God, I want to say no, but don't quote me on that. It has been a while since I've done an actual like history course in Rome. Actually, I'm curious now. Did Rome ever? Nope. Hurrah! But they did call it Hibernia, so anyway, What was I saying? Yeah, we got on the topic of Rome. But if you're interested in Roman history, especially around the time of Julius Caesar, the HBO show Rome is amazing. 2 seasons, 2007, I want to say. Definitely watch it if you have access to it. It is one of my favorite series ever. I watch it like once a year. And yeah, so very, very good stuff. Can I talk about Amleth now? I like to pretend that I have like that good. Oh, it's so good, dude. Oh my god. Attila of the Julii is one of the greatest villains I have ever seen on TV. Thanks. Now I'm going to talk about Rome because it is a fucking amazing show. So, you've got it's this juxtaposition of this soldier and his BFF. Well, they become BFFs. They're kind of like, it's like a buddy cop sort of thing, dynamic. They are lowborn, like, they're just kind of in the army doing what they do. And then you have, like, the Julii, who are Julius Caesar's clan. They're obviously very wealthy, and they live very, like, removed from actual Rome. But, like, it's just so fascinating, and just, like, the characters are so compelling and well written. You see, like, the rise of Julius Caesar and his fall. You see the fall of Pompey Magnus, and then you see the rise of Gaius Octavian, who became Augustus Caesar. It's just, I cannot recommend it enough. The woman who plays Cleopatra is just so goddamn beautiful. The guy who plays Mark Antony, oh fuck, what's his name? This is why you need sleep, ladies and gentlemen, please. And NBs. Alright, hold on 1 second. Because I was about to brag about him being from the West Country, too. Also, like, the theme song is a total banger. Okay. What is your name? I'm going to kick myself once I figure out who it is. James Purfoy! Yes, he is a West Country lad like me. But yeah, it's, like I said, it's only 2 seasons. It was the most expensive undertaking at the time for HBO, and they did not renew it. And then Game of Thrones happened, and they were like, well, okay, I guess we can have a very expensive show for several seasons. And I'm like, dude, make an ending to Rome. Like, they squeezed decades of history into, like, a few episodes because that's what they had to do. And it made me very sad. Hashtag justice for Rome. Okay. Now that we have successfully gotten me off topic several times, I'm gonna finish the saga of Amleth just to have completion. Because, like, I'm in the middle of it and I keep, like, getting, like, sidetracked, and I'm never gonna finish it otherwise, because I am very easy to distract right now. Okay, so Amleth's father-in-law, the King of Britain, and Fang/Fjolnir had been pledged to avenge each other's death, which is unfortunate. The king was unwilling to personally carry out his pledge, and so he sent Amleth as a proxy wooer for the hand of a terrible Scottish queen, Hermuthrada, who had put all of her former wooers to death, but fell in love with Amleth. Like, I'm looking at the Wikipedia summary for this right now, like, definitely not the first time I've ever read it. Totally not. And this makes no damn sense. He just sent his daughter's husband to, like, seduce this awful Scottish queen who, like, kills people. Oh, because he didn't want to personally carry it out. So he was like, oh, well, she's not gonna go for this motherfucker, so she'll just kill him for me. Awesome. But turns out Amleth is just that sexy. On his return to Britain, his first wife, whose love proved stronger than her resentment, told him of her father's intended revenge. In the ensuing battle, I guess that was a battle, Amleth won the day by setting up the fallen dead from the day before on stakes, thereby terrifying the enemy. Good man, good Viking. He then returned with his 2 wives to Jutland, Jesus, where he encountered the enmity of Wiglaf, Rurik's successor. He was slain in a battle. Hermuthrada, though she had promised to die with him, married the victor. Damn, hoes ain't loyal. So yeah, he was buried on a plain or a heath in Jutland, and that was about it. Wiglick later died of illness. Okay, well, The Northman is definitely more entertaining than that, though I wish some of those plot points had stayed in, because that would be a hell of a ride. Man, we should get Taika Waititi to adapt that. Like The Northman 2, the real story. Oh man, I was going somewhere with all of this. I was gonna deep dive, and now I can't think. Like, I did not plan this stream like I usually do. Usually I try to be meticulous about planning things, but I was going to actually play a game and use Twitch for its intended purpose today. I was going to do the Dark Pictures anthology, House of Ashes. But I love the Dark Pictures anthology, by the way. Like, if you've never played it, those games are so good. I think all of them are available right now on PS Plus, PS Plus Plus. I don't even remember what it's called. PS Plus Premium. Which was PS Now. And yeah, they're very narrative heavy. There's not a lot of action. You're basically playing through a movie, making choices, which is like the big thing. There are collectibles to find, and your story does change based on what decisions you make, which I really like, because a lot of these very choice heavy games, like, they're basically like, you can choose one or these two things, but you're still going to get the same ending unless you make this like big choice, and then you have one of two endings. But this one is like, the Dark Pictures anthology has multiple endings depending on your own actions. You can see this most in the second game, Little Hope. House of Ashes is the latest one. And yeah, it is, it's my favorite. I was really into Man of Medan which is the first game when it came out. And then Little Hope came out, which I found incredibly disappointing. Like, they basically used the same plot twist as Man of Medan. And I'm not going to give that away, but it pissed me off. And then House of Ashes, they rectified their mistake. Plus, Pip Torrens plays the curator, who is like the omniscient narrator sort of the game, who guides you through. And he is just so suave. Love him. But yeah, I'm going to try to do that tomorrow or the next day. Probably, what's tomorrow? Wednesday? Probably Thursday. It'll be like my third stream in a week. Goddamn. Making up for lost time. But yeah, like, I used to play games on stream, and, you know, I'm just not very good at them. And I had a couple of people come in and be like, wow, you suck. And I'm like, I know, right? Please leave, you're mean. But, yeah, it's fun. I like gaming. I enjoy it. I don't really care if I'm good at it. Never heard of the game. You should check it out. It is on PlayStation and it's on PC. I prefer to play on PlayStation because my PC sucks. Oh, hi, Pharaoh. My cat, Pharaoh. But yeah, they're really, really good. Like, even Little Hope is very good, and it's the worst of them. But they're not for everybody. Like, a lot of the complaints are that it's narrative heavy, and that, like, a lot of people feel like their choices don't matter as much, but I tend to disagree. I love narrative heavy stories. Detroit Become Human is probably my second, or it's tied for first place with the Dark Pictures anthology, because it is just such a compelling narrative. I actually, when I was streaming it before, I got rid of all of the streams that I did, because these were like 2-3 years ago and they were embarrassing. But I actually cried on stream, like, during multiple parts of the narrative. It was embarrassing. Yeah. But definitely check them out if you are into like horror, sort of mystery, thriller stuff, supernatural. But yeah, starting tomorrow or Thursday, you can play along with me. It'll be fun. My neck is killing me. All right, we have gone way off the rails. All right, so let's see here. Yeah, I can stay on a little longer. Fuck it. Usually my streams are about 1.5 to 2 hours, but like, I know a lot of people stream for much longer. I just worried, like, having me just sit here talking to you for ages is boring. It doesn't take me that long to do my makeup on stream. And yeah, I always do it in the beginning. At some point, I'm I'm just gonna show you my artwork and what I'm working on right now, actually, because fuck it. Let me just create a new scene. BRB. Yes, I am. I am indeed. I do digital art, which is kind of like a newer hobby of mine, comparatively speaking. I used to do like pencil paper sketches and stuff like that, but I got a digital art tablet for Hanukkah a year before last. And yeah, it's basically changed my life. It is much easier for me now to do like elaborate pieces. Let me see, it might not be on OBS that I did this, but at one point I had a collage. Yeah, here we go, image slideshow. And I'll just throw up the stuff I already have done. Okay, image files. Here we go. Hold on. Shit. There we go. Don't know if you can hear me. All right, don't know if you can hear me, but here we go. I am streaming, silly. Thank you. Yeah, pretty much all of my artwork up till now has been just classic movie actresses. This one I did, it's Tyrone Power, it's for my mom's birthday. Their favorite classic Hollywood actor. Shit. Alright, fuck it. I'll see if I can do something. I'm still not used to OBS. I used Twitch Studio for way too long. Okay. Ah! Down. Resize. Ah. Eh. Very much resize. Yeah, anyway, OBS Studio is pretty new for me. And, okay, fuck it. I give up. Yeah, fuck it. It is definitely different than Twitch Studio. Twitch Studio is basically like, it's easy for anyone to do. My God, stop doing that. Okay, I'm gonna lock everything but this. And OBS is a little more complicated, not as bad as like the Super OBS Studio thingy. I have Streamlabs desktop, I lied. So yeah. Okay, how is it down there? Woo! Resizing things with Alexandra. She doesn't know what she's doing. This is why I didn't get into a technical field. Transform. Make it tiny. How do I make it tiny? $16.9. Close enough? Nope, it's still huge. Fuck. Alright, here's what I'm gonna do. Thanks for bearing with me. I'm gonna make myself tiny. Yeah, there we go. Okay. Yeah. So you should be able to hear me now, right? Do I only draw people? Yeah, pretty much. I am not, I don't know. I like people. I especially like drawing women. I'm heterosexual personally, but I find women very beautiful and like aesthetically much more pleasing to draw. Men are hard. I love men. They're handsome, but they're hard to draw. Where's chat box? There you are. Add source. But yeah, what I wanted to show you though was what I am doing right now. So I've had this idea for a while. It's a Vincent Price tribute piece, and you'll be able to see me doing something other than just people as soon as it loads. Woo! So right now I only have the background shading done for part of this, but it's going to have a bunch of references to Vincent Price and his movies. I'm going to have him standing in the middle of the vestibule that I'm about to show you as soon as I save it as a JPEG. Yep. Okay. So, there we go. And turn you off. And do this. Alright, so like I said, this is just the background, and this is like the background of, this is the background, just the blacks. Oh, thank you. Calligraphy is fun. I enjoy doing lettering. I used to want to be a tattoo artist on top of everything else. But yeah, I'm very excited about this project. I've had this idea for, God, how long has it been? Probably close to 8 years now. And I started doing it on canvas, but unfortunately when I left my living situation at the time, I had to leave the canvas behind. I was so sad. I just kind of got depressed about it. Oh, the creep's still messaging me on my whispers. Mr. Do you want to make $1,000? I am still not wearing jeans and I am too old for you, honey. So, yeah, I kind of put it on ice for the longest time, and now I've decided I want to, try it again. And since I have time, since the semester is over and the next one doesn't start until August, like, I got time. And I should probably do something I care about for once during my summer. I'm like a huge academic overachiever, and I need to sometimes just chill with that stuff. And why did I move? Oh God, that is a long and tragic story that I'm not going to go into. If you look at my channel, there should be a video that I have featured. Let me just go real quick. I can't remember, but it's basically the special event stream talking about borderline personality disorder. That'll give you some idea of why I had to move. I'm also doing my makeup in that video, and it turns out pretty okay looking. But yeah, it's an unpleasant story that I don't really like going into more than I have to. What am I doing in uni? First of all, what I'm going to do is put that chat box over this. I am currently in graduate school. I'm pursuing my PhD in film theory, film history, film scholarship. a multidisciplinary approach to film and analysis, just everything to do with conceptual side of film. Kind of my intention is to teach film on a university level for people who either want to make film or want to study film or just interested in it and want to take a class with me. I also intend to do a lot of research in the horror genre, so I have a lot of fingers in a lot of pies. But yeah, I was going to go to law school before this, and I decided to do film academia pretty much right before I was supposed to go to law school. Did you say PhD? I sure did. I'm going to be Dr. Obsessive Filmer. Woo! I call it entering the family business because both of my parents are in academia. That wasn't, like, intended to be the plan when I was younger. They actually tried to warn me away from it, but I had what I call my young adult rebellious phase, and I decided I was going to go into academia anyway. But at least it was a choice, and I didn't feel pressured. My parents were awesome like that. All right, what are we now? 5:21. I have done absolutely nothing I was intending to do today. That is a big change lawyer to film. It sure is, bub. Oh my god. Like, let me just tell you. Whoa, what the hell happened to my face? What the fuck? I'm frozen in a very unflattering way. How do I refresh it? That's better. Okay. Yeah, it was a very big change. I kind of had an epiphany, and so what my epiphany was is that I would be absolutely miserable doing law. I would be good at it, but I wouldn't love it. And when I was at a very, very low point in my life, I was watching a lot of movies, and before then, like, I'd seen movies as entertainment, and I didn't really care much about them, but for some reason I started watching them differently. The way I describe it is I started reading them like books, and then I just, like, fell in love with everything to do with film and decided, like, this is my calling in life. Like, I don't want to do anything else. This is the only thing I would be happy doing. I want to teach. I want to, even if it's just one person, I want them to find a passion like I have for film or for anything else, really. And hopefully help somebody who was in the situation that I was in and, you know, be the help that I didn't get. But yeah, I was going to law school because, like, it would make good money. And that is just not the right reason to go into a career field. Yeah, you kind of need money to live, but I figure, like, as long as I'm able to keep a roof over my head and have, like, nice things once in a while, like, go on a vacation at least once a year, like, I'm fine. Anyway, as I said, I have not slept in, what are we now? Almost 36 hours. I am going to end my stream here. I have very much enjoyed chatting with you and everyone else. I will be back either tomorrow or Thursday, like I said. Probably about 2 p.m., 2 or 3 p.m. like I did today. And we'll play some games, we'll chat, we'll hang out. All right, well, take care of yourselves, and thanks for hanging out, and I'll see you next time.